Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into a topic that's super close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Lesbian relationships and sexuality.
Lots to unpack there.
For sure. We're looking at this through two main lenses today.
Okay.
One, how lesbian relationships are shown in media and pop culture.
Right.
And two, some of the philosophical and sociological ideas around them.
Love it.
So get ready, everyone. This is going to be a really interesting one. I think we're going to challenge some norms today and hopefully see love in some new and amazing ways.
I think so too. Yeah, it's a topic that,
Yeah.
there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. And, especially when you think about how things have changed over the year.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Especially in media.
Yeah, even just going back a few decades,
Right.
you see such a different picture.
Oh, totally. It's like they were either trying to shock people or like catering to, I don't know, like the male gaze.
The male gaze.
Instead of telling real stories.
Right.
Ugh. And don't even get me started on that bury your gaze thing.
Oh, I know. It's
How's
just,
it on?
it's heartbreaking, really.
It is.
How often they would just kill off lesbian characters,
Yeah.
like their relationships were doomed or something.
Totally. And it just reinforces all those negative stereotypes and prejudices.
Exactly. And it's sad because sadly, those prejudices are still out there
Oh, I know. It's so true.
in different forms.
Yeah, for sure. But the good news is things are definitely changing for the better.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited about the progress we're seeing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like we're finally seeing more shows and movies that are celebrating these stories.
Yes.
And they're actually like exploring the complexity.
Right. Like real people, real relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And they feel so much more real and relatable now.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like the L Word, that was groundbreaking when it came out.
It was.
And then Orange is the New Black too, showing us these stories in a whole new way.
And even period pieces like Gentleman Jack, proving that these stories have always been there.
Oh, I love that one.
It's so good. And what's even more exciting is seeing these relationships taking center stage in some amazing films.
Totally. Like Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Have you seen that?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just the depth of their love story.
Right. It's not just a side plot.
Exactly. It's the main event.
It's amazing. And the same with The Handmaiden.
Oh, such a good movie. And, it's so powerful when you think about the impact this kind of representation has.
Oh, for sure. I was reading an interview with this young filmmaker. She was saying that seeing herself represented on screen, like
Yeah.
for the first time, it literally changed her life.
Wow.
Gave her the courage to come out and embrace who she was.
That's amazing. Representation is so important.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It not only helps LGBTQ plus people feel seen and validated,
Yeah,
but it also helps other people, wider audiences.
totally. It builds empathy and understanding.
Right. Like when you see a love story on screen, no matter who the characters are, you connect with those universal emotions.
Exactly. The love, the heartbreak, the joy, it's all there.
It's human.
It is. It's just human.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this whole idea of challenging norms in media
Mm-hmm.
makes me think about how philosophers have been tackling these same ideas for years,
Oh, totally.
like Simone de Beauvoir and Michel
Yeah.
Foucault.
Yes. They really push the boundaries of how we think about love and desire.
They did, didn't they? And especially de Beauvoir with her critique of like patriarchal structures.
Right. The way those structures limit women's autonomy.
Exactly. Especially in relationships.
Yeah, it's like imagine being free from that societal script of what a woman should be in a relationship.
Right.
That's what de Beauvoir was getting at. Lesbian relationships, they can define love on their own terms.
It's so powerful.
It is.
And it makes you think, how does that actually play out in real life?
Right. How do those ideas translate into the lived experiences of lesbian couples?
Exactly. And that's where sociology comes in.
Yes. Sociologists have actually observed that many lesbian relationships tend to be more egalitarian.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they share responsibilities and power more equally.
That makes sense.
Now, of course, this isn't to say that all lesbian relationships are perfect
Right.
or free from conflict. That's not realistic.
No, not at all.
But they do offer a different model for partnership.
I see. So it's not about saying one is better than the other.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing the different ways relationships can work.
Precisely. And challenging those traditional assumptions about gender roles and power dynamics.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not just about who you love, but also how you love.
Right, and how you structure your relationship.
Exactly. And how you navigate those power dynamics.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But, even with all the progress we're seeing in media representation,
Mhm.
some people argue that it's still pretty focused on a specific type of lesbian experience.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I think it's important to acknowledge that.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think we need to be mindful of the diversity within the LGBTQ plus community itself.
Right. It's not a monolith.
Exactly. And the experiences of a Black lesbian, for example,
Yeah.
or someone from a conservative background are going to be vastly different from those mainstream portrayals we often see.
Right. And that's where the idea of intersectionality comes in.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
about understanding how different aspects of a person's identity intersect and shape their experiences.
Like, you might connect with a lesbian character on screen.
Yeah.
But if you're also a woman of color, you're facing additional challenges.
Exactly. Like racism, which that character might not have to deal with.
Right. So intersectionality helps us see those layers of identity.
Exactly. It adds nuance and complexity to the conversation.
And that brings us to queer theory, which has been really influential in challenging binary thinking.
Oh, absolutely. Queer theory is all about embracing fluidity and diversity.
It's about breaking down those rigid categories.
Yes, and questioning those norms that define what's considered normal.
Right. And it's not just about sexuality, it's about gender identity, too.
Exactly. It's about challenging the entire system.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We talked about representation in media, delved into some pretty complex philosophical ideas, and explored the social dynamics of lesbian relationships.
It's been a journey.
It has.
Yeah.
And I think it's clear that these relationships, both in how they're portrayed and in reality, really push us to think differently.
They do. They challenge us to think differently about love, identity, societal norms, everything.
It's all connected.
It is. And as we continue to move towards greater understanding, I think the key takeaway is this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Celebrating diverse relationships isn't just a trend. It's about recognizing the beauty of human connection in all its forms.
I love that.
So I'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
As we learn and grow, how can we continue to celebrate and learn from these diverse expressions of love? How can we see them not as something unusual or different, but as a fundamental part of what makes us human?
That's a great question to leave everyone with. Thanks for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.